Okay, today I am going to be doing a rant on the TAS check-in app. Now, to say that I've had a fun time using it is an understatement. Am I willing? Not so much. This is something I prefer not to be doing. Unfortunately, it's required. I'm not going to try to talk about any conspiracy theory, stupid bullshit regarding this. This is not about trying to share some secret stuff. No. If you want that sort of stuff, you need to go somewhere else. This is about my experience. So first off, I understand the necessity for this. I am not going to argue that point. I do, however, have some frustrations. And if you're a developer for this, or someone who is responsible for making sure this was put out, you fucking asshole. Or assholes, depending. I mean, you know, government, it takes a... Well, it can take an army when you only need a man. To put it that way. I mean, if you can understand that. But most people don't. They just sort of flip out when you say that sort of shit. Anyway. The purpose of this, if you're not sure, is to basically every time you go to a business, catch a bus, whatever, you are required to scan in. It's simple. It uses a QR code, which is nothing but these tiny little squares, which is a physical representation of data, or however you want to pronounce it. That information then is kept. You can scan it in. You're supposed to scan it with the camera. And that then will record that, oh, you're at this address at this time. So in the event that something bad happens, you can turn around and go, oh, you need to quarantine for like the next 2 weeks. Bye-bye. Not pleasant, but whatever. When this app was released, it required every single time you wanted to scan in, well, you needed to scan in, you had to be connected to the internet. Some stupid fucking moron in their infinite wisdom decided that would be perfectly acceptable. Where if you've got half a fucking brain in this state, you would know very well that the internet isn't everywhere. That means your whole idea, your whole premise falls apart. Now, QR codes are physical representations of computer data, or data, however you want to pronounce it, to store a string of both title of business and unique code, which currently is just a bunch of numbers. You should be able to fit a shit ton of that in a simple megabyte. We're talking more than 48 days, I'd be assuming. So, to require constant internet connection when you are scanning in is ridiculous. It took months for that stupid shit to get fixed. And the last few days, that stupid shit started to fly again, didn't it? Now, the other problem is, this app also will turn around and display your full name and your telephone number. I've noticed because most people don't bother to turn that off. And as someone who has a bit of, well, at least want some level of privacy, I don't want to have my phone number and my full name plastered all over all over everywhere. And that's what a lot of people are doing without realizing. Well, it's in front of their face. So on mine, it doesn't say that. It also doesn't say where I was in last because I can't use it. So that's the other thing. It displays your name and your phone number, and it allows you to turn it off, but most people don't. I see that as a bit of a problem because if someone wants to start harassing you, it makes it very easy. Number three, providing feedback to this is only available through the actual app store you get it through. Looking online for contact details to go, hey, problem, oh, how do I do this? Request function, change or whatever. You can't. I've not found a way to communicate with the Pacific department that worked on this, which is fucking stupid. And then number 3, there's no tutorials. So if you're someone who's using this and you don't want to have your full name and your telephone number listed on there, now, a function I would like to see added would be the ability for you to have a nickname or a title in the event that there are multiple phones. That. Also having different profiles. So in some cases you'll have entire families using the same phone. So you could have a profile where, you know, entire family or ex-couple or ex-people, depending on how it goes. So having titles and being able to check in multiple people at the snap of a, you know, click of a button or whatever would be better function. At the moment, no, you have to sit there and do it manual, and it's a fucking nightmare. It also causes problems where you'll have people gathering up outside of a business. It just slows everything down. So, as I was saying, if you go to those 3 little at the top, these 3 little marks up here, you get this. You get check-in, you get your profile, you get your history, and mine's empty because when this shit started up on Friday, I removed the app, reinstalled it, still didn't scan in, so I was pissed. Frequent guests, well, there is none. Latest news and alerts about privacy policy, yeah, fucking right, and settings. So let's go to the settings tab. First up, vibrate on QR code scan. Well, I'm going to leave that on. Play sound when checking. I turned that off. It's getting irritating. It's like the Windows XP sound. It pisses me off. Well, login sound. Forgot check-in reminders. To be quite honest with you, I get a couple of those popping up even after I have. Offline check-in. It is enabled. See that? It's enabled. Save checked history. I want to see that. Display profile on home. Yeah, I turn that off because I don't want that on. I don't want that displayed. So if you want to know how to take your name and phone number off the, you know, that front page, that's the one you got to turn off. Also, that's how you turn that off. Don't need device info. So, what happened? Well, Friday afternoon, I tried to scan in on the bus and it wouldn't let me, which was confusing. So I uninstalled it, tried to reinstall it, didn't work. I was thinking, I'll just wait until... How to put it? Alright. So, first off, what I do to fix this? I would change the string or the line of code where if it can't connect to the internet, it simply goes that. That's all I'm getting. I had to take a screenshot of it because I don't have a QR code I can use on this. Anyway, this is what I'm constantly getting, so I'm not able to actually check in with this app, which is fucking irritating. Shouldn't have to sit there and note everything down, shouldn't have to do this, should just be able to go, what, beep, done. That's it. That is convenient. I am willing to put up with that. Not really much of a problem. This is fucking irritating. So, I would remove that. The second thing, I would have it store the string of information in. If whatever fucking idiot had final say in the QR codes, here's how I would have done it. I would have had title of business with X amount of characters, maybe 30. I would have then had the string up to maybe something like 10 numbers, since numbers are currently what are being used, and I don't think I've seen a string longer than 10 yet. But it's going to be incremental. And I also know that this has been used interstate. So I would have those 2 pieces of information inside the QR code. That way, that app, or this app, can turn around and go, oh, you're at this business, okay, at this time. At which point, it's recorded. Now, for myself, and I don't know about anyone else here, I am more than happy at the end of the day, or when I am finished wallowing about outside, to come home, fire this up, connect it to Wi-Fi, and then synchronize that information, since it's literally just a button you have to push. See, what I'll do is go to history, refresh, and then they just refresh, but I can't show you, so, bleh. Now, I didn't have a problem doing that. It's not an issue doing that for myself. For anyone who wants to bitch and moan about it, well, that's your choice, not mine. As I said, I haven't had a problem with that. So I would change that. The other thing is I'd add in different profiles, allowing multiple profiles on this and allowing people just go scroll, click, scan, done. Now, I'm pretty sure there was something else, but I can't think of it right now, which is a bit irritating. So, yeah, I'm going to leave it there. This, last I checked, was mandatory. The inability to contact the organization department directly who is managing this is a bitch. The fact that there's no details, no how-to tutorials I've seen for this, just a lot of fancy advertisement text. Get over your fucking self. Tutorials are important. The fact that this stupid application still requires internet connection in order to fucking work is ridiculous. Obviously, now if the person didn't live in this state and they were in New York or something, I mean, yeah, fine, you get free Wi-Fi, but I'm not the type of person that likes to use that. Also, just for clarity here, in case if you're that fucking useless, leaving Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, mobile data turned on constantly is going to drain battery life quicker. So I like to turn all that off when I'm not using it. So picking this up, going beep, and then putting it back in my pocket, not a problem. Constantly having to leave my data on or turning it on and off on a regular basis just to go somewhere is fucking irritating. So yes, with all that, I do hope this helps the developer. I also do hope this helps the stupid fucking government employee with his finger or her finger up their ass making decisions about this stupid application to do their job properly. Trying to make it as least inconvenient as possible. I mean, if you really want it to be as the least amount of inconvenience as possible, I mean, really nail it down. This thing records everywhere I go. Every single place. And guess what? It uses GPS, meaning it ain't got you don't have to scan it at all. Like with Pokemon Go or with any other geo game sort of thing. Blah. Why not use something like that as well? I mean, it'll help out a fair bit. Now, there's a number 2 thing here. What happens if someone only can get a hold of, well, let's just say they buy an iPad mini or an iPad or an iPod Touch, which doesn't have mobile internet. How? Without constantly connecting to every fucking Wi-Fi they can if it's available, are they going to be able to check in if it's requiring internet access? And to finish this off, let me make this very clear. It was advertised on the local news that this app would no longer require internet access in order to check in. And yet, it's like 2 weeks later, I think it was, it on my end required it. So, how about go through, fix this fucking app, because I'm getting pissed off constantly having to check for updates over the last 3 fucking days for this. Pull your head out of your ass, do your job properly, and stop pissing people like myself off who would like to get a proper job, unfortunately are treated as basically useless piles of shit. I've had that done to me for years. And then when this happens, yibbida yibbida.